I like pressure is an understatement. I mean, hi,
Daniel,
Sarah.
hi. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too, Sarah.
Okay, last night things got real. I feel like last night's episode leveled up. Things got real. I truly feel like you could have been our winner.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
And so it was like a huge hit losing you. I want to know how you're feeling today after you've seen the episode.
Yeah. Um, I think mixed emotions, but the overwhelming feeling is the sense of pride. You know, I've practiced and cooked. I spent so many hours in my kitchen just trying to refine my craft, kind of find my personality, find my voice in food. And so for me to get onto the show is just such an accomplishment and such an achievement. And so I'm really proud of that.
Oh, and as you should be, as you should be. And so let's talk about that preparation and getting onto the show. I want to know what the first germ of a thought was for you. Reality television. That seems like something for Daniel.
Yeah, I've watched every season of every country of MasterChef Canada, so I kind of got the bug just from watching it. And I think a lot of home cooks will sit on their couch and say, "Well, I would have done this or I would have done that," and I just thought that the show was for me. I feel like I'm really creative. I feel like I can kind of cook on the fly. So that's where the germ started, was watching the show. And then I just have a culinary bug. When I was a kid, I used to write, I used to draw, I used to paint. Like I was always very creative, right? And I don't think I was ever really good at writing or ever really good at drawing or ever really good at painting. But as I got older, I found that my medium is food. Like that's my medium. I'm good at it. I enjoy it. It speaks to me. So yeah, I think over time, really just spending time in the kitchen really made me want to compete on MasterChef Canada.
Oh, that's incredible. And that's what I'm finding with this series, whether it's Amazing Race Canada, MasterChef, myself being on Big Brother Canada. So many of us performers in the reality TV genre are artists at heart, and we're looking for a creative outlet. And so that leads me to my next question. Did you find that with MasterChef? And what was that difference between being on your couch and saying, oh, they should have done that, and then actually being in the kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different world. I mean, it's something that you think about, it's something that you fantasize about, dream about, something that you try to manifest, right? Like really being on the show. But stepping foot in that MasterChef Canada kitchen is a privilege and it's amazing and it's beautiful and it's also anxiety ridden and challenging and all of those things. But it is the stage where you get to present your art to the world. And so it's really beautiful from that perspective.
It feels like the level of rigor and attention to detail and standards are where you want them to be. And so did it feel like as an artist, did that feel like, yes, I'm at a kind of echelon here and with other talented people? Did it feel like that, like the place you thought it would feel like in that way?
That's a really good question. Um, the short answer is, you're sitting on your couch or you're practicing at home, you're perfecting dishes, creating dishes, and you don't really have a benchmark and you don't really have a critique outside of your friends and family and your own palate, right? So you don't really know how good or how bad or how whatever that you are. And so for me, being able to compete on the show, part of what I wanted to do was show Canada who I am and my food perspective, most definitely, but then also compete, also test my food and my skills. And so to have judges who are professional chefs taste your food and give positive feedback is just not only a memory I'll never forget, but also just such a beautiful experience, right?
Oh, and your talent shone through. I think that's why you were chosen as a leader for this week's episode. And at first, everybody was like, Koichi is picking with his heart, but I actually think he was picking with his brain, and he knew that the captain of the other team was has a lot on their shoulders, and so I feel like strategy did play in here, and you were kind of you led the ship so well, and it could definitely be argued that maybe you weren't the most deserving to go home in this situation, but there was a moment where you could have said, maybe put blame on other people on your team, but you were the leader and you decided, they asked you, should you go home? And you said, I'm the team captain. I had a lot to do with this. And you kind of shouldered that responsibility. And from someone watching at home, I think sometimes they might see reality TV show and then say, why did Daniel do that? He doesn't even know these people. Why would he feel obligated to do that? Can I ask you why you felt obligated to take on that responsibility, even though, these people are borderline strangers at this point?
For sure. I think obligated is probably a pretty strong word. I didn't feel obligated, but I think part of what I wanted to do on this show was show people who I am. So I hope Canada felt that, and I hope they saw that. I mean, what I really wanted to show was my heart on a plate. I wanted to show them my perspective of food, but also they have to know who Daniel Ebanks is, who Daniel is. So I did it because that's what I felt. I did it because that's what I felt was right. And I mean, I hope Canada really just understands that that's who I am as a person, and so that's why I did it.
I mean, I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was a great show of integrity and strength, and I also think in a situation like that, it might be the easy thing, or your kind of gut thing to not shoulder that responsibility and not feel the responsibility to say, you know what, I was the leader and so I'll own up here. But I also think that at the end of the day, that is what the judges want to hear too. They don't necessarily want to see a leader kind of like throw people under the bus. But at the end of the day, I loved it because it's that, people call reality television fake and these relationships fake. But even in that situation with everything on the line, it was important to you to stay true to yourself.
Definitely, yeah. I think that whole that fake narrative or whatever the case is, like, no, it's real. Those are real people doing real things. Like, it's yeah, it's real. So yeah, again, I'm not somebody who's a finger pointer or who wants to name blame. I was chosen as the captain, which wasn't my choice, but regardless of who chose it, I was there, and I just took accountability the way that a captain or person should take accountability. So didn't work out the way that I wanted to. I think I had a lot more to show Canada. I feel like I had a lot more to put on the plates, but it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, yeah. And let me say, okay, Cindy, I got to bring it up because she kind of was okay with throwing you under the bus a little bit.
Yeah.
Right when you were chosen to leave, she kind of, felt switch really quickly and was like, I'm so sorry, Daniel. How do you reconcile that in that moment? And like now, how do you feel about that?
Ooh, good question. I think reconcile, again, I feel like I don't know that that's the right word, but I will say that, I have a good read on people, and I think that people's true colors will always show. And I think people could see my true colors showing, and I think people may have seen Cindy's true colors show. I mean, it's easy to just flip a switch and change your mind or backpedal a little bit. I didn't backpedal, and I think that's just the nature of who I am. So yeah.
Yes, yes. And to me, it also highlighted, this extreme pressure scenario.
I like pressure is an understatement. I mean, wow, Sarah, I'm telling you, it is like I think they just pressure is in this kitchen, regardless of the competition, regardless of the challenge, regardless of pressure is inherently built into walking into the MasterChef kitchen.
And you like still maintain composure. The dishes looked beautiful, and your main dish probably was better than the other team's main dish. It seemed like I need to try it immediately. And when Ida was on our show, she made the point that just because you go home in a certain order, that really isn't indicative of your skill levels or what you were bringing to the table. So I have to say that and put that out there. There was another really beautiful moment where you said you obviously hope to stay longer in the competition, but that you felt like recognized and you felt seen, and that felt really cool.
Yeah,
Do you still feel that way about your time on the season?
I do. I do. I mean, I kind of had mentioned before, like part of what I wanted to do on the show. There's lots of things. I mean, obviously, I would love to hold that MasterChef trophy. I think that's everyone's goal who gets on the show. I think if that's not your goal, then the show might not be for you because it is rigorous, right? But I think almost more than that, I wanted people to see me. I wanted people to see how much I care about food and how beautiful food is, and my perspective of food. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I think Hugh kind of gave me the biggest compliment I could have ever received, and that was that I have a very modern take on food and I'm really good at it and I should continue. When he said that to me, like I got goosebumps because I felt like he understood what I was putting on the plate. I felt like he connected with my food, and that is, oh, that's the most beautiful thing I think as a chef, is for people to really appreciate not only your dish. I mean, it's great to have a beautiful dish. You know, this dish is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's my favorite, it's great. But for someone to say, I recognize your concept, I recognize who you are as an artist, as a cook, as a whatever. So, not just this is a great song, but the fact that your library of food, I understand what you're talking about, is just like that's the biggest compliment I think any artist could get.
Totally. And that's exactly how I feel. That's what I'm trying to do, whether it's writing or content. And so that's lovely to hear. And I think that I feel confident to share with people that reality TV can be a gateway to this in order to be seen, by your fellow community and mentors, even like in this case. And so,
Yeah.
Daniel, I'm glad that you will take that advice and keep going and not stop. I'd love to know where we can follow you and what you have coming up in the future.
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram at Days of Daniel. I'm going to be cooking, so that's for certain. I really want to just, again, share with people how they can make beautiful memories and how they can make beautiful moments. And that all comes through food, right? And again, that's part of who I am. I want to show people how to make memories through food and how to build experiences through food, because that's how I show my love. That's how I receive love. So I want to give that gift to other people as well.
Oh, well, you already have. And we see you and you see us. And now you've given all of Canada another outlet to kind of explore their culinary passions. And so I can't thank you enough. Thank you
Yeah.
for facing reality. And thank you for joining me today, Daniel.
Thank you, Sarah.
I was not recording. Oh, yes, I was. Yes,